Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of NeoEnglish, the show that helps you learn real English through real stories.
Today, we're diving into a story that mixes science fiction with real-world issues. We'll be talking about Star Wars. Yes, Star Wars. But not just the action and lightsabers.
Right, we're looking at how two Star Wars stories, the series Andor and the movie Revenge of the Sith, talk about rebels, dictators, and how power can change a society.
These stories aren't just for fun. They give us a way to think about our world today. That's what the article from the Washington Post says. Star Wars reflects current events. That means some things we see in these stories also happen in real life.
And we'll help you understand the big ideas and improve your English, one sentence at a time. Let's begin with the basics. Ava, what's Andor?
Andor is a TV series on Disney+. It tells the story of how people become rebels. It's about ordinary people who decide to fight against a powerful, unfair government, the Empire.
And Revenge of the Sith is a Star Wars movie made in 2005. It shows how a democracy, that's a free government, becomes a dictatorship. A dictatorship is when one person takes control.
Exactly. One of the most important phrases in the article is echoes current events. Let's explain that.
To echo, something means to repeat or reflect it. So when the article says Star Wars echoes current events, it means the story feels similar to real things happening now.
For example, sometimes leaders try to control people by using fear. Or people stand up against unfair systems. Both of these ideas happen in Star Wars and in real life.
Good point. Another tricky phrase in the article is space opera. It doesn't mean singing in space. A space opera is a science fiction story with adventure, love, big battles, and powerful emotions.
Like in Andor, we see people trying to survive under a cruel system. And in Revenge of the Sith, we watch how a hero becomes a villain. That's Darth Vader's story. He goes from good to bad.
The message is big. Even in cool sci-fi worlds, people deal with problems like fear, control, and fighting for freedom.
Let's take a closer look at vocabulary. Our first word is franchise. In this article, it refers to Star Wars. A franchise is a collection of stories, characters, and products under one name.
For example, Marvel is a franchise. Harry Potter is a franchise. They all have movies, books, games, and fans.
Our second word is dictator. A dictator is someone who takes power and doesn't let others share it. They usually control people with fear and rules.
For example, Darth Sidious becomes a dictator in Revenge of the Sith. In real life, dictators are leaders who do not let people vote freely.
Another phrase from the article is pinpointing what Star Wars is about is tricky. To pinpoint means to find something exactly. If something is tricky, it's difficult.
For example, it's tricky to pinpoint why she's upset. Means it's hard to know her exact reason for being upset. Another one, can you pinpoint where the sound is coming from?
Great examples. Now, the article also says Star Wars hasn't had a new movie since 2019. That was The Rise of Skywalker. But even without movies, the stories continue through shows like Andor.
And what makes Andor special is how serious and real it feels. It doesn't have too many lightsaber fights. Instead, it shows real struggles. People trying to survive, protect their families, and fight for freedom.
There's one line in the article that really makes you think. It says, Star Wars is still a space opera for our times. That means it may be science fiction, but it reflects problems we see today.
Like government power, fixing unfair systems, or standing up when things are wrong. That's what these two stories, Andor and Revenge of the Sith, are really about.
Before we wrap up, let's review the vocabulary and phrases.
Echoes current events means something is similar to what is happening now in the real world. Example, the movie echoes current events about climate change.
Franchise, a group of related stories and products like Star Wars or Marvel. Example, she's a big fan of the Marvel franchise.
Dictator, A powerful leader who doesn't give others a choice. Example, the dictator made new laws that people couldn't vote on.
Pinpoint, to find exactly where or what something is. Example, I can't pinpoint where my phone is, I lost it.
Tricky, hard to do, or hard to understand. Example, the math test was tricky, but I passed.
So here's the story again in simple words. Two Star Wars stories teach us about how power works. Andor shows normal people fighting back against unfair leaders. Revenge of the Sith shows how a leader becomes a dictator. These stories feel real because they show problems we see in today's world.
And because of that, Star Wars is more than a space adventure. It helps us think about what's right, what's wrong, and how every person can make a difference.
We hope you learned something new today, both about the story and new English words.
If you found this episode useful, feel free to share it with your friends. We'll see you next time on
NeoEnglish, where real stories help you build real English.